Hopping in and out. I'm hopping in and out. One sec. That's spider web. That was definitely a spider web. Oh man. Salam fam, salam up rock. Uh just going for a nice little walk in the woods and marinating, meditating. Had a early start to the day, kinda sorta. But coming off of yesterday, with the GAD, the Gadvat, and going through real life real life working out enactment of making sure you're carrying the message straight, but noticing how me going through something like that, it's a revelation. A revelation not only to me, but in me in interaction to others. So it's not just me that's being affected, it's me and being involved with whoever else is on this path of life I'm supposed to, cross over and meeting to, not crossing over, not that deep, but we're warming up for the day. I'm really in a chill vibe, so the tone may even be different. But yeah, realizing how important it is to realize these revelations, and for those that follow the Hebraic calendar, this Saturday would be the day of Pentecost. And yesterday, after I got off from fellowshipping with y'all, some people talk about scrolling. I wasn't doom scrolling, but I was scrolling. I be seeing stuff like this, random stuff. You see, it's always around. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to be able to observe and receive the message whenever you are about some ways. But shalom, fam, shalom. But yeah, realizing how yesterday after the message I'm scrolling through on TikTok, and it's somebody named Chanak, I believe, something else, something of the sort else that's on TikTok, and bro was talking about the same thing that I was talking about with Joel, and how it relates to Pentecost and getting it in the right mind frame and mindset. You know what I mean? So being in the right mind frame and mindset is how you get that revelation. And him talking about it, and then this rise and listening to Pastor Kofi, him talking about it, Joel chapter 2. And the whole time I'm in frustration and flabbergasted mode that I don't even realize, let me go this way. I don't even realize that it's a Pentecostal view of things going on. Constantly being in that Zion mode, constantly being in that mode to work on things. You get to the point of Pentecost where that Ravak Hakodesh, that Holy Spirit, that sound mindset hits you and stays with you in everything and all things. No matter who you come across, you're able to be quick on the feet. You're able to pivot. You're able to see if a ball that's hit is a fly ball, or if it's a grounder, or if it's coming in hot. Like being a pitcher. A pitcher is one of the most dangerous places, and that's where we are in life. A pitcher is one that stands on the mound as we stand on the mountain and throws a pitch after getting the call from the catcher, right? We know where we're going with this metaphorical mindset. The catcher being Yah, right? You throw the pitch, say, hey, sometimes it's out of whack. Sometimes you might got to call the timeout, bring it in. Sometimes you throw a pitch that comes back so quick that it almost hurts you more than it was from you to release. The intent it was of you to release it, you know? But yeah, random squirrel guy. Just random thoughts. Walking through, and I was like, man, after yesterday, having that going on, it's kind of like I gotta walk it out. It's always good to walk it out and absorb everything that happened from the previous day. Because each day is different, you know. Each yom is different. It's not the one from yesterday. It's not the one tomorrow. There's a saying that says you leave yesterday to yesterday because it's already happened. Tomorrow's not here yet. What you can see and what you can deal with is today. And even thinking about the years that pass over time, right? They're not even that long once we think about it, you know? It's not even that long. But hey, what's going on, fam? What's going on? Um, but they pass so quick. So 10, 11 of them things ain't really that long. You know what I mean? Taking yourself out of this construct of rushing through time. I had to catch myself in life like, man, looking around, I should be here with this and family and da and it's just divine timing. Many have gotten caught up in rushing and can't even see really what they've rushed by. Now what they're in is a place that, and there's nothing wrong with it, but what they're in is a place to try to figure out where they are in life for them and everybody else around them. Again, not a bad thing, not a terrible thing, but it's a thing, you know? It's definitely a thing. I don't know what kind of turn I just took. I think this goes to the baseball field, so I might gotta cut back up somewhere. uh, I'm talking about that other the ADHD be getting you going. Yeah, I done walked off into. I'm not trying to go to the baseball field. But I wasn't trying to walk past people because walking with your phone out, it could weird some people out, and I get it. But you know, I wonder. I ain't gonna bother. I ain't gonna bother because I'll be the one to mess around and get a tick. So I'm just gonna walk back the other way. Um, but yeah, just some meditating, walking, exploring, talking with fam. You know, but prayerfully having a blessed day, a Barak day, a beginner's of word. But in this Pentecost season, let's go back there. There's this time for Pentecost and Acts chapter 2, how it talks about when the Holy Spirit came in church. Everybody started speaking in tongues and um, how they started, um, able to speak in many different ways and languages and stuff like that. That's in the avenue of many different thought processes and things rushing in so quick with having the mindset. So you got to be able to sit in nature and see what's going on. You know what I mean? You got to be able to be in tune to really notice things. Because if not, you're not going to be able to play ball really well. You know, being able to keep on talking and see the thoughts connect naturally as you're talking. Not having a point, not having an axis, not having anything but a general direction. Fully dependent on Yah. You know, fully dependent on his way and his tone and his walk. You know, but yeah, I decided to bring everybody on a walk with me. That guy's still right there too. What's going on, buddy? Yeah, one second. Walking by somebody. But yeah, just enjoying another blessed day. Another cool day. Another cool day. Even noticing how like now I was looking at earlier this morning about the birds and things like that. Like when it rains and it makes the ground softer and like seed and stuff comes like that from the ground, making it easier to access or things of that nature. Yeah, the little things, exactly. Exactly. And that crinkling you're hearing is a water bottle. Gotta stay hydrated. Gotta stay hydrated. It seems like everybody has started coming out now. I try to get up at like early, so I can just kind of get some time to vibe and, you know. I do love people though. I do love people. Not gonna act like I don't. But it's like once you get into that quiet, it's comfortable and quiet. Let's be real, it's comfortable. It's real comfortable. Quite relaxing. You know, but yeah, and then diving into Asher, right? The book of Asher. It's basically talking about a revolution. Asher coming after Gad. The sound of Gad cutting through the wind. with that revelation again, being not only for you, but for everybody else you come into contact with in life. You know, not just for nothing. This stuff ain't just for nothing. That's the theme. That's the theme for the week. It's Pentecostal, as they say. Again, man's terminology. Not anything to be like, oh no, don't say that word, but we know what we're talking about. The time where that consciousness comes back. Joel chapter 2 talks about it a lot. From having that gardening mindset, seeing everything as a garden in time. You know. Oh, I see everybody coming in, you know. Thanks for the subscription and all that stuff too. That's cool. That's pretty cool. That means I ain't too bad with the talking. But yeah, like with the culture and everything like that, it's one thing. It's like honestly, it feels like people can see it, you know. But it's something that's not always talked about because of how when people care about something, they really care. So people can be aggressive with it and be like, you got to do this, you got to do this, because they got the best thing in heart for you. But it's like it's all in different time for different people. You can't really rush anybody on a path, you know. No matter if you're in front or behind or beside, or if you've been through that path 1,000,001 times, you can't. It doesn't work like that, you know. It's all in perfect timing. Even in cutting people off, it's not really cutting people off. It's just for right now, just can't see you because where we left things off at, it just can't see where to go from there. So we're gonna resume at a later date. It's a later date, later time. But for now, you know, not part of my shoulder, but just excuse me. That's all. That's all. Let's go turn around. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk down to where that soccer field is. It's pretty secluded over there. There's something about going to places like fields and stuff like that in a cut, surrounded by woods in a place that's so vast, like it's like a brain thought box type thing on the way I vibe with it. Again, I see everything different. Some may call it weird, but I call it divinely blessed. Not to get caught up in the what we were talking about before, the box. People rush out of a box, their houses or apartments, to hop into a box, their car, you know, to go into another box, to rush back to get to a box again. And it's like, there's woods right here. There's living things and stuff, you know. Like they say, stop and smell the roses, but look out for the poison ivy, you know. Not everything's sweet. Stuff happens, you know. But this is the walk of life. This is the path of life. But when you get things like that and you learn things, something very impactful in life, it could be an argument, it could be a disagreement, it could be somebody cut you off in traffic, something like that, but you made it to the point where you calmed down from it. Remember what you told yourself. Remember those thoughts and that thinking process, because as you come across people, you're going to have to use every single one of those things. It's like specific jewels given to you. And your only job is to know how to use them and when to use them. If not, it's like wasting the talent, you know? But yeah, don't want to waste no talent. Fruits of the spirit do spoil. You know, they do spoil. Oh man, speaking of, I forgot, I had some blackberries I was supposed to bring with me. And that surely didn't happen. Let's go this way. Let's go back this way. Yeah. But yeah, Salam up Barak fam. Salam up Barak for people coming in and hopping out and stuff like that. Just going on a little walk. I'm not overwhelmed from yesterday, but had a great little campfire live session yesterday that got uploaded and stuff. And I was really timid about it, because I'm like, man, that was a real life realization or something, because sometimes you can't look past it. Y'all is not gonna let you look past everything. Like that's not gonna happen. Hey Shalom, sis Shalom, what's going on? Yeah, going for a little walk in the park. But yeah, y'all is not gonna let everything let you look past is everything. No matter how great you are at this walk, at chucking, not chucking and jiving, but zigzagging, cutting corners. I might be good at doing donuts. Who knows? Not confirming or denying that. But he's not gonna let you look past everything. And sometimes you're just gonna have to get hit by it. When the spirit change, that's when they spoil because they no longer in that. He heats up stuff, but he keeps you cool though too. In those temperatures. Sometimes that fruit could turn to something that gets you drunk after a while. At the same time, it's different. Sometimes you get to the point where, like me, I was just like, it's gonna be all right. And usually, if I just stop looking at it, something will come from it. But that's not always the way to go about it. That's not always the way to go about it. And sometimes it's like, I don't want to bring this out in front of people. I'm not supposed to do that. Well, don't do it in a negative way. I was reading in Asher, the Testament of Asher today, this morning, this rising. It was talking about how don't be two-faced. That's basically, but his spirit can't spoil on mine. Yeah, Asher, like carrying the revelation, you can't be two-faced. Like, you got to be single-faced with it. Being able to know of other things, but not staying in it. Not staying in it, not looking at it and acting like everything's okay. That's two-faced too. That's basically what it is. Not that it's you're trying to do anything wicked with it, but it just hits like that sometimes. It's like, to be honest, TBH. Sometimes I look at it act like it's nothing, even though I know it's something I should be paying attention to. It happens. It happens because that I'm not gonna be defeated mindset could get you caught up in some things that you don't even know is defeat yet. Hold on, let me fix my. I hope I'm alright sitting this in the sun with it. We shall be. We shall be. Yeah. That's a cool mushroom though too. But yeah. Prayerfully all's been well with y'all though. Oh yeah, what's this about too? That's alright, I'll do that another day. One cool thing about this park though, when I was little and played t-ball, I played t-ball in these baseball parks. Little cool thing about, my little neighborhood place. We used to cut corners and run these paths during the games and stuff when we would dip off from our parents. But back to not being two-faced, just like that, like reminiscing on stuff and being open about life and getting back comfortable with just talking and just, like back in the day when I used to go through town and stuff and walk from town to town, we'd come across people and different conversations and different things, and there'll be testimonies and ministries and nomadic missionaries, a real thing, just by talking, just by talking about what you've been through, where you've come from, what you've seen, what things in nature that made you think about a metaphor, something that's said in the right moment at the right time for that person because heaven had met you in earth, and just letting those righteous waters flow. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about, but like I was talking about yesterday, these just the random, hey, pop up on live, and I got free time. I'm just walking and talking. I'd rather talk out loud. At least this way I could kind of look like I'm normal a little bit, because I'll be talking just like this. Not as loud, but I'll be talking, I'll be turning this down, coming up on some more people, but yeah, I gotta do something about these sweatpants too. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about nothing about that. But this one of these trails, they're kind of it's kind of weird. Not weird, but it's like right behind people's houses. I think it's kind of cool, you know, to have a place that you can just have a trail like this right behind, you know. Might be goals or some type of way. Just like, and this bridge has been here for years. Years. My buddy used to live over there. I mean, that bridge is like, I think it's been rebuilt like 3 or 4 times. 3 or 4 times now. But yeah, just keep track of where your spirit's at. You know, keep track of what that first thought in your head is about when you wake up in the rising. I was thinking about that too. Not just waking up and just going past that first thing on the mind. Why is that the first thing on my mind? You know, might gotta digest some things. Might gotta look at some things. Might gotta find the scripture. You know, start hitting these search engines. You know, with a grain of salt. You know, don't just absorb everything you done seen, but you know, things like this. Remember the day that you're in. Like I'm over here, like I'm about to be, shoot, what is it now? I'm about to be 34 in a few weeks, according to these times, you know. But thinking about that yet again, it's like, you know, they count you from 9 months. After 9 months, you know, they don't count that gestational period, but they go from a year when you came out the womb. Why is that? You know, even then the time ain't really counted all the way correctly if you think about it, you know. But yeah, just keeping track of life. Keeping track of life. But take a little time to get a little mid-time stretch real quick. Y'all hitting one with me. I encourage that too as well. Get your walk on. Let's see if that'll hold. Yep, that might be good. Go ahead and get your walk on. Let's see. Yeah, why not? You know, sometimes it's okay to be a child too. Like I don't want to walk the regular way up out of here. Let me just go ahead and walk through this little cut. This is my personality. I guess this is what this is turning into. I reckon that's exactly what this is turning into. Let's get that blur is gonna mess me up though. But every path you gotta watch out for the thorns, you know? Every single path, even though it looks cool. You know, stuff like that. Stuff like that. Not saying that, you know, every single crack you'll break somebody's back type thing, but there's messages in everything you see and walk by. Try to find them. Now, where's Waldo? Well, this ground feels really soft or something. Hold on now. Now, see, look at that. You see? Just like that, walking on top, and like it's really, really soft right here. I believe it used to be a path of some sort. I don't know. But just being aware of stuff like that, thought y'all was ready to see if we can go down somewhere. I do believe in quicksand. Never seen it, never experienced it, praise y'all. But you know, I'm cool with water, but that's not the same thing. You know, biblically speaking, it means something. But thinking on that first thought that you wake up to every rising every morning, I reckon that first thought is a revelation. coming coming to think about it, because my first thought, it was just like, man, I just need to get some walk in today. Don't know why, don't know what the point is, but as I'm walking, thinking about, I dipped into Asher a little bit, and this is gonna sound real repetitive depending on which time you came in, but yeah, realizing that's that first thought every day. It's a revelation of some sort. Your days is really based on it. Once you get to moving, it's really based off that first thought. It truly is. That sets the tone. It truly does. Truly does. See, look, something you don't do at work that's done at work sometimes, Oh man, I entertain myself. I'm telling you, I entertain myself. Praise y'all for this mindset. Why so serious? To a certain extent. Yet again. And this is the soccer field I was talking about. Might sit and chat with y'all for a little bit. These gnats out here though, for sure. For sure. My southern self, they ain't gonna bother me none. Walk right on through them. You know how many bugs you probably done swallowed trying to sleep? But yeah, you see how it opens up? Oh, when they cut down all that. See, even nature ain't really, I guess they is kind of bothered by me, but not too much. Oh, there go another one. Let's see if I can. Never mind, he must don't like the camera. Yeah, but let's see. Oh man, but yeah, what y'all got going on for the day, fam? Prayerfully all is well. Prayerfully all is well. You know that silence thing I was talking about before too? Cook breakfast, yeah. Yeah, I gotta give me some peace. I think I've had coffee and water today so far. But yeah, this silent part, this is one of the things I was telling y'all about. I'll sit here and just forget, that this is here sometimes, But that silence thing, man, I love it. I love it. But then also as well, I get antsy, so can't sit for too long. Can't sit for too long at all. Yeah, people don't know silence can get real loud. Next thing you know, you get caught up in your thoughts. You get to thinking about stuff. I'll drive home in silence, and sometimes, when I allow the rare occasion for somebody to ride with me, one thing they'll talk about all the time. And you gonna turn the radio on? No. You better lower that window. Let that wind sing to you. I'll walk with the wind in the cool of the day. Oh, boom. That's a good example, too. I was talking about yesterday how the roots below are the same as the ones up top. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. This is what I be picturing when I say that. Like, see that? That's the branches of the trees. Again, underground type thing. That's what I mean. So below is above, as above is so below. But the giraffe doesn't worry about the things of a turtle. One eats from the ground, one eats from the trees, one eats from the dirt type flow. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Tree branches. Just like that. Same thing. Same thing. Yeah, sometimes you get to a place you can't handle the noise. Yeah. That's the perfect way to put it too. You can't handle the noise. So you go into silence that's so loud. It drowns out the noise at the same time. That noise of life. To see things like nature's been the same way since the beginning of time. The thing that's been consistent through everything. And you see the little bit of in the greens with the passion, with the love. Or we got into that amber yesterday with the browns and stuff like that. I'll be talking about the ground and the leaves. The same color as these things. So when I'm talking about things, I'll picture things from here, from walks. And that's what, because it helps you life. That's exactly what it is. It's like when life gets too loud, you get quiet and you get into some scriptures. You read and let that voice talk in your head. That voice ain't never introduced itself. Just was there, just been there. Ain't never introduced nothing to nobody. Just started talking. But this is the way. This is the way. But yeah, as I'm walking back to I ain't seen one of these guys in a minute either. I don't know if anybody's afraid of them. I'm telling you, I notice every little thing. I know one of them is poisonous. He ain't supposed to touch. That guy looked kind of funny though. Yeah, he looked kind of. He got some red on him. His eyes is white. He coming for me. I'm gonna go ahead and keep walking. But yeah, emerald jade is all. Come on now. Emerald jade is all around us, and then just talking like that, you see the emerald and you see, it's all around. It's all around. As reminders too in life, you don't see nothing for no reason. These things remind yourself all the time of love, of what surrounds the colors. You see that green screen, and then you start to see colors on top of the green screen, like how the news reporters do. You start thinking about what mixes to make these colors. Some reds, some yellows, even green that grows on the brown after a while. That means something. Yeah. This is what I do on these walks. Get back to it. Get back to it. Proof of provision. That part. Proof of provision. Ain't got to tend to it. The telling is trying to figure it out. That's a mental thing. Oh man. Outside of the need of water, that's knowledge. The birds of the sky, the beasts of the fields, and fish of the seas, the things in the mind that you think about, the things that turn the heart to and fro, and then the waters between the sea and the land. Waters representing people and things like that. See what traction come before you, you know? Let you know how deep that dirt is sometimes when you walk up on it. Help you be careful about it. Things like that. And when the ground gets pressed, waters come up from it. Type things like that. As I'm walking back to the vehicle. I'll be laughing sometimes, just a little joke. I don't be meaning no harm by it, but I will hear somebody give a message, and I'm like, yeah, that's powerful. But that's something that you see every day, But these are the things that strike you, that makes it passionate, gets you excited, because it's like, yeah, you sent exactly what I needed to see, exactly what I needed to see. As I'm walking up out of here, and these squirrels, if you know, you know. I was trying to hold it in, but I couldn't. I think I did good. I think I did good. Oh, bro. I ain't right. I ain't right at all. But that's all right. That's life. That's life. Yeah, prayerfully, y'all have a great day on Barak Yom. Pentecost coming up this weekend, this Saturday, this Shabbat. That Pentecostal mindset. Keep it in mind. That renewed mindset. That's what we try to do. That's what we work on every day. The mental. More tune for the head top. More tune for the head top. Yes, see, I say. Yes, see, I say. And even how Joel talks about Pentecost. Joel chapter 2. That's about the Holy Spirit meeting you. That's the goal. And if you feel that she's not there, taste that door last that you went through. It's probably something there you got to go back and revisit. Because you ain't alone. You just can't see that you're not alone. Just got to figure it out. Them bricks then broke up somewhere along the line. You might got to get some more. You might find some in the woods. You never know. You never know. I was thinking about that soccer ball over there too earlier. I do my little kamabinga sometimes. And I felt wrong. I was like, that might be stealing. It might be stealing, but yeah, almost at the vehicle now. Definitely not showing that part. But Shalom Al Barak fam. Shalom Al Barak, had some time. Go for a little walk. I've been on here about 40 minutes. I've been out here for longer. But yeah, keep that mindset. Keep in mind the revelations and the thoughts of what you got going on in life. The first thing you wake up to first. Marinate on that, because just like a dream, it's there for a reason. Ashar, Alav, Sheen, or Samek, Shay, Alav, Rush. It's trying to get back to source, figuring out how to get back to source. And there's only way. It's through destruction for the head top. It's through those twists and turns and ups and downs. That's the only way to get to source. There ain't no easy way. If it was easy, everybody can do it. It ain't easy. It's something that you got to go through, got to figure out how to do, because it's going to come to you in many different ways. Just like that amber we were talking about from that tree sap yesterday. It's never made in the same way twice. The elements fall different ways, but it's still the same healing covering, at the same time. As the birds start coming out and playing, which is cool. Pretty cool, but yeah, I guess I don't know, feel the need to pray a little bit. So we're gonna pray. This ain't a one of those type things. Never really like a one of those type things. There's decency and order, but anywho, Abba, to die for allowing some time to walk in nature and really see what it is that you have for me to hear, and be able to share it with family and whatever is supposed to resonate and sit now for later, even if something didn't hit now, maybe it is for later, things like that, of that nature. Um, just thankful for allowing things to be seen that need to be seen. Thank you for safety. Thank you for provision, proof of provision that's always there, even though we don't even notice half the time. But to die for helping us notice these things. That's Asham Yahaba, Asham Yahashfai, Asham Vakakwadas, Aman, and Aman. Y'all go ahead and have a great day now, you hear? Go ahead and have a great day. I'm gonna catch y'all on the flip side.